What is up, guys? Kickstory Podcast is back in action. How are you doing, everyone? I'm Bobby Kicks, back in the mix.
Peace, peace. Goatee in the place to be. What's going on? What's going on?
Man, we're back at it. Season 4 is very exciting. Obviously, we're here on location at a special place. We have a special guest here.
Yep.
We're going to introduce to you pretty soon here.
Right. Bobby. So we're in Top Rocker Tattoo Studios in Peoria, Arizona. Different vibe right now because, this is a creative hub. This is where you get your ink done, you get your creativity on, and also where we film Kickstory Podcast, man.
Exactly right. And so I'm very excited about doing this because
Yes, sir.
we've been talking about it for a while. And Serv One, who is our guest here, is going to be introducing himself and what he does here for us. And before we get started, I want to remind everyone,
Yes,
make
sir.
sure that you're watching right now and subscribing, okay? We appreciate you watching, but also hit that subscriber button, hit that notification bell, go to kickstorypodcast.com. And make sure you're subscribing to all of our channels there. We got an audio
Yes, sir.
platforms, all the popular ones there, YouTube as well. You have ways of financially helping us out too online. So feel free to do that. And also, we have some great discounts here for Rejuvenator as well too. So yeah,
Yep.
a lot of great things.
But enough is enough.
Yeah.
It's time. We've been talking about this man every single episode.
Right.
It's time to introduce him, Mr. Serv One of Top Rocker Tattoo Studios.
Hello, everybody. Happy to be here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Moving forward, it's something that we had been talking about and then put into effect, and you guys coming in on your days off and putting in work, and it's just growing.
Definitely.
We planted that seed, a little bit of water and some sun and some good energy. And yeah, man,
Perfect.
super excited to be here. Honored to be here on this side because I've been watching your guys' stuff for, the amount of years and
Yeah, you're one of our biggest fans. I think you're one of our biggest supporters. You've definitely influenced us in the direction we're going. So we want to thank you for that too as well.
most definitely.
And also, just like it's one thing to support, but I like to say you've been A1 since day one, right?
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is, there's people that support and show distance love or present love. But what you do is you're a successful business owner. We'll get into that, but you also don't mind getting your hands dirty, man. You helped us, set up our studio. You blood, sweat, and tears to make our dream happen. And, by your name and Serv One, who you are, we've been a witness to just how you serve. So thank you on that one, man.
Yeah, definitely. Just again, happy to be a part of this.
Yes.
I saw the direction where you guys were going, or even the base of what it is that you guys are putting out, and to be a part of that, I feel honored.
Yeah.
Hard work is easy for me because I've always presented myself to show up when hard work shows up, and it's always there. So to be able to be a part of something like this, it's effortless.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's great to hear, man. And before we get a little bit more deeper, I want to hear more about you. If you want to introduce yourself to the audience that don't know you, what you do, where you're from, all that great stuff.
For sure. Ernie, Serv One, Rojas here at Top Rocker Tattoo Studio. Never not working. Those are my main things, is that creative people live here.
Yeah.
That's
Creative.
a fact.
Yeah, it
That's
doesn't
a fact.
matter if we're tattooing, if we're sketching, designing, painting, filming. There's always a creative energy here, and that's what I've been trying to push out, not just for myself, but for others as well.
That's right.
Right.
Growing up in a really huge foundation of hip hop, I use that in my daily activities, my business meetings, all these different things. And then one of the main things that has helped me and grow in whatever I've touched is each one teach one.
Each one teach one. I like that. Each one teach one.
So I'm not above anybody else, nor am I going to allow anybody be above me, but at the same level where we have an understanding of respect for each other and we can all grow.
Yeah.
That's what's helped me successfully. It's not the things that I've purchased or the things that I acquire or collect. It's the journey of continuously keep learning.
Right.
And that's what's helped me to have what we have here, to be able to film for this.
And also offer that that abundance to others, right?
Yeah.
And the same thing with us. I mean, that's one of the things I loved about how we connected, And real quick question, how long have you been doing this? Like, where's the start?
Tattooing wise?
Tattooing wise, art wise, yeah, all that good stuff.
So art wise, since I was a little one, I was one of those kids that couldn't sit down for anything.
Yeah.
And my mom saw that energy, and then instead of getting upset, she harnessed that energy to be able to allow me to explore my creative side.
Yes, sir.
It could have been baking, it could have been gardening, it could have been painting, because my mother does all of these different things.
Yeah.
So I've been able to learn these different things patiently because my mother taught me patience with the patience that she showed to me.
Awesome.
Even when I was feeling impatient with myself, she taught me to be, the more patience that you have with yourself, the more patience you have with others. You don't let things bother you or overreact at the point of time.
That's great.
And you know what? Much love to your mother. That's super important, because as a parent myself, I really learned that importance of everyone's on their own journey, right? But it's my due diligence, it's my duty as a parent to make sure I recognize my kids' talent, and to just not block their blessings on their talent.
Yeah.
Just continue to feed their talent.
Most
That's what your
definitely.
mother did with you, man. That's love.
Yeah, sometimes our family members or our loved ones will almost gatekeep or block us from certain things to protect us
True.
from getting hurt.
True.
I mean, like, oh, like I tried to do that, son. Like, I wasn't able to do that. And if okay, that's cool, but allow me to go through the process. Let me learn maybe what you did incorrectly. I'm not going to say wrong, but it didn't benefit you at the time.
Right.
So I can learn to pivot and then
Word.
use that
good.
to continue to move forward.
That's awesome.
And-
No, I love that.
And I've had those people in my family that they're like, no, I don't think you should do that. And then the others are like, you should do it, but do it at the highest level. If you're going to do it, give it your all. And I've had those people in my life to help me to get to that. A lot of people think, let's say success, money, things, property, cars. Like, I've acquired all those things.
Yeah.
But still, I don't feel satisfied because the other successes are this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I've been able to do with my time and my money and my efforts
Yeah.
to be able to each one teach one and allow people to grow. That's what I want to be remembered for.
Yeah.
There's those types of things like, oh, that guy, like, I just barely met him and I was talking about like wanting to do this and he told me that I could. And he only met me like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
I'm a believer. I truly try to stay away from the non-believers. They're in their small little circle.
Yeah.
And when you tell them something that you're excited about, they're like, nah, you didn't. Nah, you didn't. We all have those types of people. Instead of getting upset about it, what my mom taught me to redirect that energy, harness it, and then be like, okay, sometimes through hip hop, I used to do it negatively, positively,
Yeah.
if that makes any sense.
Okay.
Tell me I can't do something and I'll show you in 5 different ways that I can.
Right.
Show me out on the dance floor. You're going to challenge me. Well, here's my rebuttal.
Yeah.
So I've been able to use those things that were successful for me at a young age and then now put it towards business,
Awesome.
put it towards relationships,
Yeah.
Right.
all these different things.
Right.
So that's what's allowed me to get to where I'm getting and going because
Most
I'm
definitely.
not done yet.
Exactly right. And one funny thing I want to share with everyone too, and the way we got connected, and it kind of, you fall into place as well too.
Yeah.
For me. So, a couple years back, I want to say 2018, 2017, around that time, I was, vending, doing bobby kicks as my,
Yeah.
standalone, vending, selling my vintage gear and so on. So I did my first show. at a high school. This was at Heated Soul. So shout out to you guys.
Yeah,
Heated
it
Soul.
was a great show.
Yeah.
Good people.
Yeah, it was one of their earlier events, and I participated, trying, testing out those grounds because I love vintage and I wanted to show that with everyone else. So I had my booth, and one of my best customers at the booth was you. You came down and checked out my booth, and right away we connected. Right at the same time, that's where I connected with Goatee.
Yeah.
So at this event that I did at the first time, I connected with you. I
at that
connected with
connection.
you. We talked it up because you saw the stuff that I had.
Yep.
You became one of my best clients because you loved all the Chicago Bulls stuff that I had. And on top of that, you saw the value of what I was bringing.
Most
So,
definitely.
and then we kept that connection really tight, over the years. And that was just great. And because of that, we reconnected years later. We caught up, we connected, me and Goatee. We told you about this idea, and it just went forward from there, So it sped up from there. And that was only 2 years ago.
That was a couple
pretty
years
much.
ago.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about purposeful. That's just that's energy. That's purpose. That's what's meant to be in our journeys, right?
Yeah.
And we're here right now making this episode.
Synergy. That was
right.
straight synergy.
100%.
All of that was aligned.
Right.
We followed what we felt right.
Right.
Nobody was conned or persuaded or pushed into something. The universe said, these people need to align. We kept doing what we were doing, and then
Realigned again. Yeah.
effortlessly.
Connection.
Yeah.
Effortlessly.
So yeah, great backstory.
100%.
I wanted to mention that. Yeah.
100%. Real quick. So you mentioned hip hop, and my spidey senses go up, right? When it comes to hip hop. So tell the audience and let's kind of take a quick little journey, right? With Serv One. Where you from, right? Where hip hop, how did hip hop affect you? What was your introduction to hip hop? How did hip hop play a part in creativity, arts, and kind of just take it from there, man. I know that was a kind of a lot.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it all
Take us on the journey.
It all goes together. So I'm originally from El Paso, Texas, the smallest, biggest city in the United States. I like to say it's a big melting pot because it has Fort Bliss, and because of the Army base, we've had a huge amount of diversity of humans. Different races, different people, everybody signs up to be able to be a part of that. And then once they get stationed there, they leave a little bit of who they are and where they come from. So being from there and seeing so many different people in hip hop, I was like, wow, there's a larger community. And when you're doing it or you're a part of something, you think that that's all it is.
Right. In your bubble.
Yeah. And what I did was once I started paying attention to these things, I stood back and said, all these different people from all over the world that are now here are a part of this that I'm a part of. Like, I'm young, and this guy from Germany in his 30s knows how to do continuous head spins because he used to breakdance and b-boy when he was younger. Mm-hmm. Or I ended up meeting somebody else that was a graffiti writer from Spain. And he was doing graffiti art because he saw it when he saw it, and he wanted to contribute and put his part. So it's like this huge community, and I was like, wow, I'm a part of that. Not only am I a part of that, I didn't want to be one of the guys on the team and be like, okay, I'm a part of the team. I'm wearing the jersey. I'm wearing, the Letterman's jacket, but am I playing?
Yeah.
Right.
So I pushed that on myself, and I was like, okay, I'm going to be a part of this, but I'm going to contribute. And the creative part really started blossoming through just wanting to do bigger and better.
Word.
So the base there brought a lot of people from around the world.
Yeah.
And they started basically sharing their art forms, and you got exposed to that. You're like, wow, you got all these different people, because you said, El Paso's a melting pot, right? And you obviously, when you're talking about battling, you're talking about breakdancing, you're talking about, all that good
challenge.
stuff. And how are you exposed to that? Like, how are you exposed to the breakdancing culture, the graffiti art? I mean, through family, through friends? How did that start?
Yes. Family, then friends.
Got it.
Truly blessed to be able to have 2 older brothers, 2 older sisters.
Okay.
And they were doing their stuff in that culture in the 80s. He started seeing these other people that were dancing, but they were getting on the floor. And then they were doing, what is called, breaking.
Word.
They've given the name break dancing,
Right.
but the original is the break,
Yeah.
because you're breaking, you're dancing to the break of the beat, which the DJ controls. So that's what it was. It was the actual DJs that were giving, oh, these guys are breakers. They're breaking on that one sound that we got, that we're going over. So that goes much deeper into that.
Yeah.
But my oldest brother used to break. And then my other brother used to pop. So it's another style of dancing, like robotics, waving,
Right.
This type of stuff that we've seen that it's called, well, they named it moonwalking, which it's gliding. Now, all these different formats. So I got to learn that from one brother, and then I got to learn that from the other. And I saw them being successful in it also. They had a breakdancing crew, and they started entering competitions. They won certain things. It was awesome. So I had that as a platform.
Right.
So they were teaching me how to do that when I was little, but then I'd never stopped. I continued to keep going.
Would you say you surpassed them because of that?
I don't see myself like that.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Or else I would have stopped.
Facts.
I keep searching to how to do it better, bigger,
Right.
and keep moving forward.
Right.
Not to outdo my brothers,
100%.
but to be able to make them proud that they invested time, which is something that we all spend. And if you're not aware of it or take care of it, you can lose that time, because time is the only thing that we spend that we never get back.
That's a fact.
For sure.
You can recoup
That's a fact.
friendship, love,
Right.
money,
Right.
things. So to be able to surpass my brothers, that never, I just wanted to make them proud that they took that time to be able to show me something, and look where I was able to take it.
Right.
And then I got into graffiti art from my oldest brother also. He used to wake me up Saturday mornings instead of watching cartoons. We used to go paint trains. Yeah. I was the one handing him the can. I was the one shaking it up. I was the one, I was the lookout. I had so many jobs.
Yeah.
I wear so many hats at the age of, 4, 5 years old.
Right.
Where at 6 years old, I was dubbed, almost like knighted, to be able to have my name that I've still carried on for 40 years.
I did want to ask something real quick, because you're talking about the 70s, the 80s, and your brothers, doing, the dancing and so on.
Yeah.
Like, did you notice some of the things, what they were wearing on feet? What were those? What were those things that, because I see cool pictures online, and I love the tracksuits, I love the kicks, I love that style, and I'm just curious to see like how you were exposed to that, and if what you were, paying attention to.
And to add to that, that was exactly what I was going to ask.
Okay.
To add to that, this is very New York. Everything you're saying right now, it's super New York. So I'm very curious in the threads, the sneakers at Bobby, and then that New York influence.
That's the epitome. They were in the lab. They were testing things out. They were dancing on concrete, where people are like, oh, that's dirty, or why are you doing that? But they kept going because it felt good. It's not, they didn't go off of what other people were thinking. They were like, this feels right to me. This music is allowing me to move and be creative and all these different things. And then you get known for those types of things.
Right.
Once you stop caring about what everybody else thinks, then you're really, truly on your journey.
Right.
So seeing my brothers, they were always dressing up with style. It didn't matter if you were wearing sweats and sneakers and a jersey.
What was the gear? What was the gear? What was the kicks? Like what did you see?
From what I remember, my brothers were rocking a lot of Pumas at the beginning.
Yeah.
They did have their Adidas shell toes, but they're not comfortable to dance in.
No. They squeeze their toes.
Yeah. And that shell on your toes for so many hours. So they were using those for once they started making it a lot higher and they started getting more gigs, they were wearing that. The original stuff that they were wearing were like Nike running shoes.
Yeah.
They were wearing the Cortez because they weren't expensive. It looked cool to them.
Yeah.
It was different.
They came out on the colors.
And then they had a variety.
Yeah.
They had all this, flavors to choose from. And it didn't matter if you were wearing sweats. You made it look fly.
Exactly right.
So it was two different things to be able to watch them on the daily with their regular clothes or their clothes that they were using while they were, training, practicing. And then on their performance nights, what they were then they were wearing
the Sunday best, right?
Yeah, the top and bottom.
Yeah.
The full set.
Yeah.
But b-boying wasn't that. Breaking and hip hop is the ghetto. Is from the bottom.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we're the catfish. You know, we're I'm not saying that it's a bad thing or I don't want anybody to think that it's negative, but we came from bottom feeding.
Right. Right.
Hip hop itself is a bastard child of rock.
Right.
If there was no rock music and then DJs that were doing hip hop grabbing these little samples and making their own beats and transferring it and making it into hip hop, it came from that.
Yeah.
So for a long time, seeing those things with my brothers on how they were doing, and then me growing up as a teenager in the 90s, I still wore some of that stuff.
Yeah.
Where I was rocking Pumas with fat laces, different ones.
Yeah.
And I would go on journeys to find who still had Pumas.
Yeah.
Because they weren't popular anymore, but
Right.
they were good to me. Everybody would look at me. Well, not everybody, but there were certain people that are like, oh, "You're wearing those? Why you wearing?" And I was like,
Yeah.
because everybody has those,
Yeah. Exactly right.
and I don't drink from that cup,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I didn't want to be that. So that's where Serv started growing my persona of who Serv was.
Your individuality, right? Yeah.
I'll serve it up.
Yeah. So what I love about that story is that we're starting to notice that the street culture really influenced sneakers fashion across every brand, right? Obviously, Puma plays a big part in breakdancing and the street culture. Adidas, and Nike Cortez, there's certain models, but I just love, and this is something that we all know, but hearing it from a Paso, Texas, lens is very interesting because you hear it a lot in New York, you hear it a lot in LA, the major cities, but street culture was across the board, and that's a great example of that. So I love that story. Yeah.
Yep. And you're right, Bob, because as you're talking, I'm visualizing how it was in El Paso. I'm visualizing the multitude of cultures that are coming to these breaking events, breakdance, pop locking events, getting off the base.
Yeah.
Right. I'm visualizing that. Super, super cool. So you have this tattoo studios. You started off with, the power of your mother, right? And then the influence of your brother, right? And then you got into graffiti. You got into this at such a young age. And like you said, you're always a student. So now let's morph into you going into adulthood, becoming a businessman. Where did that business influence come from?
From my parents being entrepreneurs.
Okay.
Being hardworking immigrants that came into the United States.
Right.
Worked hard to be able to come into the United States and then stay positive moving forward, contributing to the community
Right.
in the United States. Being foreigners, they had a lot on their back. They had a lot of responsibility. My parents not only took from where people were very giving, they wanted to contribute back. So I learned that as well, primarily before hip hop. And then hip hop just really embraced it all. That was already in my DNA to be able to do that.
Right.
So from the things that my brothers taught me at a really young age, I started applying that back into now having my own dance crew. And I was picking talented people, and then I saw something in them, like a talent scout, and then I would inject good energy, positivity. I'm like, man, you got something going good. Are you open to learn some more? I leveled it out. It was not like, oh, shorty, I'm gonna drop some knowledge on you. Because at certain points, some people did want to come at me like that because they saw that I was doing something,
Right.
but then they wanted to big brother me in the wrong way.
So that, right, your parents to you recruiting, now that makes sense that you can have now you have the remedies, the tools, the experience to now recruit and have your own business and now
Definitely.
and recognize talent and then continue to cultivate that talent.
Most definitely. So from all of that, it wasn't that I was building businesses later on. I was building people.
Facts.
And
Serv One.
That's a good way of looking at it.
and when you build with people, you grow as well. think about it this way.
Exactly.
If you're going to teach me a recipe, you have to remember that recipe. So then you have to go through your notes, mental notes. Okay, we have to add this. We got to do this. Make sure that you do that. And then you have to take time. You can't just, you have to let the yeast grow, like whatever it is to be able to do that. But when you start doing that with people, you grow along with them.
Right.
So those are major successes. Again, like I have things, I have cars, I've been able to accomplish those things that I thought were going to make me happy, but I'm still scratching at the surface.
Yep. So I got a question then in regards to that. So you took all these great experiences from your parents, from your brothers, and all this great stuff. I'm curious to know, like, when did you start packaging this up and say, you know what, I'm going to do my own thing in a physical form as a tattoo studio? Was that your initial thought to start one, or did it morph into that? And where was your first shop? Was it here? Was it in El Paso? How did that start?
So all that started from, again, the challenge. I was doing something very successful. I was in corporate America and I was doing very well. I was at the high end of it. And I got to the point where I wasn't satisfied with it anymore. Right. And I didn't get depressed, but I started feeling different. And I was like, okay, these things pay my bills, but I wanted it to be fulfilled. And creating art again got me there. And the way that I knew that I was going to be able to get into the gallery scenes or to be able to afford to get material, the canvas and all these different things, tattooing got me there. So tattooing, I knew that has been around for a good amount of time and it's growing. I wanted to become a part of something that was a growing. Yeah. So again, so I can contribute. Yeah. I'm going to add my own spices. It's not just like, oh, now it's this and I'm a part of it. I'm a part of the team. Like, no, I'm going to add my own stuff.
What year is this, sir? What's the era right now we're in?
So
roughly?
I've been tattooing now successfully for the past 26 years.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
Congrats, man.
Thank you.
And one thing I've noticed, okay, you're going from graffiti to tattooing. That's not an easy transition, right? How did that happen?
Well, I stopped doing art for so many years.
Yeah.
So the dancing and the graffiti and the sketching, because that's not all that I did. My mom's an artist.
Okay.
So I learned how to sketch, paint, oils, watercolor, acrylics. My father owned businesses as well, and he was in the automotive. So I learned how to paint cars.
Wow.
Doing colorful, bright candy colors for car shows on lowriders or hot rods. I learned how to pinstripe. So my skill level and whatever I touched was always as a student.
Right.
Okay, I'm in this. I need to learn all these things. And then once you learn all of them, you learn what rules you can bend or break. And that's where you start creating your style. When you become successful at one thing, you don't just like stay there. Some people do. But it's the scratching of the surface to continue to move forward. And that's what I ended up doing, getting into tattooing. I didn't have a tattoo on my body. I didn't have a single tattoo on my body.
Wow.
I got the opportunity to do a apprenticeship in Okinawa, Japan.
Right.
That's crazy.
So I didn't just learn from like the homies. I didn't learn from like somebody's uncle or whatnot.
Yeah.
Again, to be able to do it at the highest level, you tell me that I can't do something, and I'm going to show you in 5 different ways. So it wasn't anybody else telling me anymore. It was my own thoughts, because we all have those thoughts.
Right.
They protect us.
How's your experience in Japan? Like, what did you see there? Like, how was it? I mean, that's a whole nother world. Because the things that when I was there, I mean, I just saw the fashion. I saw the gear. That was one of the things that stood out to me. Like, what did you see?
Yeah.
Everything. Because I took a step back of not just to be able to be engulfed in it and like, oh, I'm in it. And oh, wow, those are things that I know about. Like you're saying, like the fashion, you gravitate to those things. But I think, no, not that I think that I know now, the reason that I took a step back is so I could absorb everything.
Learn.
Not just the things that were exciting to me, but the other things that are behind the scenes.
Right.
Yeah.
So I started paying attention to a lot of behind the scenes to what it makes it to the present. Going back to my brothers, dressing in whatever, and it still looked fly.
Right.
But when they were on stage, there was a whole different presentation.
Right.
So to be able to sit back and absorb that, I learned everything. And their culture is from the time that they wake up to the time that they go to bed, they try to perfect everything and anything that they do and touch.
Right.
I have a personal experience with that with you. When you did my Kickstory tattoo, I saw how focused that you were on having a precise line and the attention to details that you made on the tattoo. And so my personal experience of you doing the Kickstory speaker box and how you really, really, really like, and you also coming from what you mentioned, about card detailing, how you just have a steady hand, right? And that translates from, from your family, and I'm pretty sure you saw a lot of steady hands and precise, fine print and fine art, tattooing in Japan. And, I'm assuming that takes you to where we are present day, which is Arizona.
Yes.
Am I correct saying that from Japan?
Yeah.
Okay. Was this the hub? Was this your first stab at entrepreneurship? Top Rocker Tattoo Studios?
And how did that go? Like, I mean, obviously, just like any business, there's always like an uphill battle, right? But it seems like, you set up a really great space here in Peoria and, and you want to continue that too, right? I mean, was it, getting this off the ground, how did that go? Like, how did that beginning days go to get this up and running?
It was almost effortless.
Okay.
And that's a true blessing. I'm a God-fearing man, spiritual also. Things don't just happen. I had to leave that comfortable life of having that for sure paycheck.
Right.
Yeah.
To now I have to depend on myself.
Right.
Right.
And then the community started backing me up.
That's why.
People not only wanted to purchase my artwork, but they wanted to wear it on their bodies for the rest of their life.
That's huge. That's a huge.
And that's the other thing that I learned through traditional Japanese format of tattooing. It was that you didn't get to pick what you wanted to put on your body. It was a spiritual person that sat with you, prayed over you, and understood your life, and then created you this piece that now you wear on your body for the rest of your life.
That's brilliant.
It was monks, shamans, medicine men that were doing this, and they're like, okay, the story you're telling me that it was hard, but you persevered, and through this fantasy imagery, we're going to mark that on your body. And the first ones to be able to do that were the samurai. And samurai means servant to their lord, servant to whoever they're serving, almost like a soldier, to a higher level. So as a servant, they didn't have possessions. They were constantly being moved around to battle or to lift up a certain area or to guard, all these different things. And they started marking their bodies, and that was their journey. They really took these things with them because possessions could be lost or still stolen or burned or whatnot. So I took those things at a highest level and be like, wow, I've had this name Serv for such a long time. Now I'm searching and I'm looking through the archives and like, this is my journey.
You're connecting the dots.
Yeah.
It seems to me like you connected the dots so well. I mean, just our connection, and the things we've been learning from you, vice versa.
Right.
It seems to me like, once you opened up the shop, you started getting, people to work with you, and you started, doing the art a little bit more. Obviously, it's all over the place. It's beautiful, and because of that, it opened up more creativity out of you, and the reason why I say is because you started creating your own thing. I mean, I see something on the table right there that's your own creation there, right?
Yes.
Which helps, I know you talked about it before, or we talked about it before a little bit here and there through your, to the audience, but I want you to really talk about your next evolution, like the next creation that come out of you. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So from all of that in tattooing for 26 years now, I'm always about the next thing. I don't want to get, crystallize and then shave down, and then I'm this beautiful diamond, and there's no more growth.
Right.
So always the growth. And I've always wanted to back up or make a product that would back up what I've been doing to help people feel 100 in their skin.
Right.
You know, I specialize for the past 20 years in fixing and in cover-ups, which is the hardest thing to do in our industry.
Wow.
So it's not just, I tattoo. Right. They're like, I'm good at tattooing, you know, a Mickey Mouse. But if somebody comes in and they want a Daffy Duck, well, then, you know, you can't help them. So for me, I continued the service to help, to grow. And the next thing that I wanted to do is to be able to back up or make a product that was going to
preserve that art,
to do that as well. Right. Mm-hmm. So I align with a company that's been around longer than Top Rocker has been around, and they've been doing it successfully with skincare products. They wanted to collaborate with me, and obviously I wanted to collaborate with somebody that's been doing successful.
Right.
I didn't want to recreate the wheel. I just wanted to make it my color.
Cool.
And they gave me the opportunity and the platform to be able to do that. And we ended up together creating Rust Proof. Now, this is a pre-care, aftercare, and lifetime care product that rejuvenates and helps your skin.
Yeah.
Your tattoos live on your skin. So the better that your skin is hydrated, all these different things, the better they're going to look for a long time. Yeah. Again, those things that I want to do is preserve those things that I've been a part of for a long time.
This reminds me so much. I mean, if you think about collectors themselves, like Kickstory collectors and stuff like that, you know, and just even vintage, you want to preserve those pieces, right? As long as you can, right? You know, the same thing with the art. You know, it's all art related. And for me, you know, just like, you know, everyone else understands in collecting, you want to keep those kicks looking good and fresh and stuff like that. I just align it with that. You know, you have some beautiful artwork, you know, I see on your art, and you never had a tattoo in the past, but now you're fully, you know, like almost covered up, and you have
I look like I have a lot, but I still have a lot to go.
Okay.
So in my journey, tattooing, I was tattooing for 2 years with no tattoos on my body. Not a single drop of ink. So that allowed me to dig deep and be like, okay, well, obviously tattoos are marked into the skin by needles. It's not a comfortable thing.
Right.
How can I make it much more comfortable? I know I'm causing some type of trauma or irritation to the skin. How can I develop a better way to wipe? How can I do this? Again, with everything else that I was doing, now I'm doing into this. I wanted to be the best in my industry.
Right.
And my skill set proves it. Because you can see, you know, I'm filming and it's start to finish. The people are wearing the exact same clothes. Now, I'm not having any Hollywood tricks or anything where they have you switch out or whatever.
You know what? And I highly recommend people to go to Top Rocker Tattoo Studio's Instagram page just to see that kind of morph. Real-time morph or present-day morph of tattoos. And I always found that interesting, right? Because I was like, and I did notice, like, I remember you did one tattoo, I believe it was like a hummingbird or something like that. Something to that degree. And I remember I remember like you had the piece, I think it was on a lady's arm. Don't quote me. And I remember seeing her shorts or something like that. And then like you edited and morphed it, and it was like, oh wow, he did that whole entire tattoo in the same day.
Yeah.
Right. So that's a skill set. I only have a couple of tattoos, but I do know it's a process.
Yes.
So for you to perfect that process, expedite that process, people got time is money.
Yeah.
People got to make moves. So, and to have a product, and once again, I'm a testimonial. I'm a testimonial.
Yes.
Sir, I'm starting to use that. And I don't have the spray. I have the kind of it's
the full kit, which is the primer and the lotion. So the primer is an oil base instead of being a petroleum jelly base, which a lot of people are allergic to.
Right.
Since after COVID, we have so many different deficiencies in the body now. So I started seeing and paying attention and studying that more people were having more reactions to the ointment that they were using. And I was like, I need to start working on something. Yeah. So I started building and thinking this, and then what absorbs better into that product. So little science behind that. All these different minerals or the organic properties to be able to help heal the skin. But the base is petroleum jelly.
Yeah.
Okay, so people are allergic to petroleum jelly or getting that much more, not being able to use it.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, well, let's see what else we can put all those organic things that help heal the skin, keep the skin, luscious, hydrated. And oil base was the best, and less is more. So now you only have a little square of our product, and you put it in, and it soaks in, and it's not gunked up.
That's right.
It's not shining.
Yeah.
It soaks in like what it's supposed to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People
That's
are
awesome.
walking around with these bandages and all this extra stuff. You're not allowing your body to breathe.
Yeah.
This allows you to do that.
Wow.
And it smells great too. Oh,
It does.
man.
It does. You were spraying some on earlier. Feels like, okay, that's pretty
So
good.
it's not feminine. It's not masculine. It
Right.
just smells clean.
Clean.
You
I
walk
love that.
into a clean restaurant, a clean home, a
Right.
clean restroom. Those things are triggering.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I wanted those things to be as important as what it does for your body as well.
So, I mean, man, okay, I want to acknowledge something right now. I mean, you're giving us knowledge all across from Japan and,
Right.
and your deep dive into chemistry and all this great stuff, man. You're multi-talented. That's great, man. I mean, just your history with the breakdancing, graffiti, your parents being entrepreneurs, I love all that, and I'm really curious to see, because obviously you have a Bulls jersey on, right? You have some red shoes on too. And you told us behind the scenes before, that your sister got you into a certain model of shoes and, and that whole thing. I want you to really share that, because that's really, really cool. But I mean, there's so much, to your palette of talents, but I would acknowledge the red, because obviously you love the stuff that you have on right now.
Yes.
Walk me through that.
So the red I got from my parents. They really enjoyed that color. Our last name is Rojas, which is red.
Yeah.
So having that, and then the pride of family and heritage, like my parents looked awesome wearing it. So then I liked it. And then going into the things that I really started liking and looking up to,
Right.
and the GOAT. Jordan, to me,
Yes, sir.
was not just a basketball player.
Yeah.
An amazing human being going through bad stuff and good stuff, but he would put it all on the court.
That's right.
He would uplift his team. He was uplifting himself. Right. He was playing and winning rings and having the flu.
Right.
Like hard work was right there. So I was like, man, if he can do it, then I can do it. And he inspired me to do that. So I love this. When I rock this, I feel like it's my armor.
Yeah.
The
superhero
confidence.
cape.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my confidence.
Yeah.
Like my hero.
Yeah.
I wanted to do what he was doing on the court on the breakdancing.
Yeah.
Or breaking and popping. And then I wanted to do that with my graffiti art. And I wanted to do that with anything and everything that I was allowed to touch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going into the shoes, my very first pair of Nikes, I had Adidas. I had, like I said, the Pumas. I had British Nikes.
Hey.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I had stuff like that. And then I was in sports when I was wrestling, I wore Asics.
Oh, yeah. Those are shoes. Yeah.
They weren't really popular at the time, but they
Yeah.
had running shoes, and I made those look fly.
Right.
I took out the laces, and then I put fat laces in them, and they were extra, so I had extra lace, and I cut those out and used those for other things. And it was just like creative on like whatever.
Yeah, whatever you have.
go into the refrigerator and you're like, man, we don't have a lot of stuff, but we're gonna make a meal. So that's how I grew up, to be able to be like, do the best with what you had. And
Right.
and I was blessed with my very first Nikes, Hirachis.
Yeah.
And I paused for a bit because it really takes me back. My sister worked a good amount of jobs to be able to help out for herself and the family and everything. But it was a sacrifice.
Yeah.
They were not cheap. And she did that from it. So that gift of like working hard and then to be able to gift something to someone, it was a true blessing.
Man, I love that story. I mean, the Hirachis are a classic model. I'm sure everyone that's lived through the 90s know what we're talking about. I mean, it has a lot of great, design aesthetics to it.
Comfortable.
Oh my God.
Shout out Tinker Hatfield.
Yeah.
Sure.
I love that story because, like you said, like hard work, you know, and having the ability to have like, you know, a gift from your family is just very special. And I'm sure that carried on into your work that you're doing to give, to serve, you know, going back to your name, Rojas, you know, red, you know, your name, Serv One.
Yep.
It all aligns. It all connects. I just love the connection that you have going on too. So yeah, shout out to your family and your sister. So
Yeah.
Thank you.
And curious, you mentioned, so Huaraches was your first Nikes, but you mentioned Jordan. What was your first Jordan, and what was that, you know, that first love for Michael Jordan?
So my first blessing was going back to the military. There's a guy, his name is Jerry, but he went by Soup. He was a house dancer from Chicago when he was younger.
Oh, wow.
House dancing is a certain style of dancing to house music,
Yeah.
house drum and bass,
Yeah.
which is like Chicago is like a big founder of that.
love it.
Yeah. So, you know, again, music, the frequency, the vibration. This guy had the very first Jordans,
Jordan ones.
the Jordan 1s. The only way that I knew about it, because a lot of kids in my area and neighborhood, they couldn't afford, you know, something like that. So my very first ones were those from him. We used to practice outside and bring out our mat, and then he was already retired military.
Right.
And he'd come out and pull up his lawn chair and watch us and stuff like that.
Yes,
so
sir.
he ended up teaching us a couple of house dancing moves that we incorporated into our breaking.
Nice.
So now we're like fusion, you know, making these different styles. But so not until maybe 8 years later, I showed somebody that I got these shoes from him, from Soup. He sold them to me. They were fly. They were clean. He would only wear them to come out and hang out with us.
Yeah.
Like he wasn't doing yard work or anything like that.
Yeah, he was front.
Yeah.
He was flexing.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So again, the melting pot, bringing something, and then I had the very first pair of Jordans.
That's fly.
So those were my very first J's.
That's fly.
And
they were gifted, yeah.
it's like
Fly.
it's like
That's a Kickstory.
Yeah.
going through someone's attic and they're having a garage sale and you find, you know, something.
Yeah.
I had it, and it meant more that I got it from him.
Yeah.
And it took me like a couple of years to keep asking, yo, man, sell me those shoes.
Yeah.
Yo, send me those shoes. And it was because the way that he was wearing it and the way that he was carrying himself, I was like, man, he's going to pass me over this if I were able to. And then what it was able to do for me to inspire me to continue to move forward. Later on, I ended up finding out that you have this pottery piece and you take it to one of those road shows, and then they're like, this is $1 million. And we're like, it's
valuable.
It meant so much on so many different levels because I got it from him.
Right.
And then because of Jordan, and then what they end up being the ones. I'm like, whoa, like I hit the lottery.
That's crazy, man. I mean, the Jordan 1s obviously are iconic. Everyone, like, you know, would always talk about this when we talk about, you know, just history, sneakers history in general too. So I love that, man. Dude, you have so many great stories, you know, such a great journey in this whole world that you're doing with tattoos and art, I should say, because it's part of art. It's a bigger world that we're living in, right? And
Creative
it's not just one
people
thing.
live here.
Exactly.
So I just want to continue to each one teach one and continue to learn myself.
Yeah.
Always stay a student is what I've been practicing. And that practice is working.
For sure. I mean, we're here. We're grateful that you've opened up your doors to us to share our stories at your space here. And guys, once again, you know, we're at we're at the home of Kickstory Podcast at Top Rocker Tattoo Studios, which has been a great partner for us for the last couple of months now. I want to say closer to a year now. We're getting close to a year.
I feel it.
You know, and we want to continue doing that.
Yeah. And you know, just echoing everything you mentioned. Also, before we log off, like I'm a living testament of rust proof, but you got a special deal going on right now with your new product. Why don't you tell the audience about it?
So with rust proof right now, and we're going to continue to do it for however long we want because we own it.
Right.
And we don't have to answer to anybody else.
Right.
So we want to continue to help people to feel 100 in their skin with the product, but at the same time, to be able to give you a code that you can get some savings on.
Of course.
Sure. Of course.
Yeah. So once you see the value in the product, you're like, oh wow, I want to continue to do this. But then if you continue to be helped and saved with it, so we're doing that. So it's TR15 is the code.
TR15.
Yeah, and we do free shipping. We've started having some international sales. So people in other countries are now starting to, purchase our product.
Yep.
They get the free shipping also. They get the code.
Yeah.
We want everybody to be able to feel 100 in their skin with rust proof. So
What's the website? And what's the website?
it's rustprooftattoo.com.
Rustprooftattoo.com.
And then we also have, our social media platforms that you can check out our stuff. You can go to Top Rocker Tattoo Studio, IG, and then also Rust Proof Tattoo IG. You can be able to see all the different stuff. And if you're scratching the surface and you want to see about, if you're a person that reads labels, we have plenty for you to read.
Awesome.
Because everything is backed up. Not just we're saying, we have this great product, but check it out yourself.
Yeah.
Yep.
And one thing I also want
testimony.
to, and another thing I want to emphasize with that is that, it's not just for those that have tattoos, I don't have no tattoos, but this is something that would definitely benefit someone that doesn't have tattoos. They just want to keep their skin looking good and
Listen,
really, really good.
I use it. It's not just emphasizing my tattoo. It feels good and long and lasts long. Like I use rust proof every single day.
There you go.
And I'm just saying that because I'm doing this to podcast. And like this is a true testimonial. So yeah, go out there, just try it out, guys. TR15. Use that code at checkout, get 15% off. And hey, you saw this whole entire episode. Support Serv One, support Rust Proof, and you won't be disappointed.
And guys, before we tune out, I want to make sure that you made it this far. Hit that subscribe button once again. Hit that notification bell. Share this video to all your friends and family.
Yes, sir.
Because we're here and we're here to stay, and we're excited to get this partnership going even further in this journey that we have with Kickstory Podcast. And thank you guys for supporting us. Go to kickstorypodcast.com. We have all kinds of great deals and ways to support us financially if you choose to do that. And also make sure to subscribe to all of our channels as well too. Serv One, it's been a pleasure. This has been awesome. Thank you again for, inviting us in your space.
And I just wanted to say thank you for showcasing the importance of not only perseverance, but continuing excellence, right? You're in the now, but you're also striving for greatness. You're also striving.
I stopped playing checkers a long time ago.
Yes, sir.
So there you go. Chess is a thing, and staying 5 steps ahead, but making 10 moves is what allowed me to be here to continue to keep moving forward.
A lot of great nuggets of knowledge, guys. I hope you took a lot of notes because this can be applied to anything. I mean, I know for us, we're learning a lot from just, being aligned with you and this thing that we want to grow here with everyone too. So thank you for sharing your knowledge. Thank you for being of service to everyone here and all your customers and all your clients and all that great stuff too, guys. But, I have nothing else to say, man. This was a great episode.
I just want to end off with saying thank you once again for tuning in. Continue to check us out. We always pumping content on. You can visually look at us on YouTube. If you want to listen to us when you drive home, working out, we're in all major podcasting platforms. And Bobby mentioned something very, very important. I want to emphasize on it. Hey, when you go to kickstorypodcast.com, we do have a section in PayPal if you want to financially contribute to Kickstory Podcast, right? Same concept as PBS, right? Just supporting the channel, supporting us, and, and support us in all ways, facets. But I just wanted to make a special note to that if you ever want to financially contribute, it'll go directly to our PayPal. We will instantly communicate with you just to continue to keep this Kickstory train rolling. We would love to be international and hit international waters and meet, serves and meet different type of collectors and just good human beings. So I want to emphasize on that. Thank you once again for supporting us in all ways, fashions, and forms. And we out.
All right, guys. I'm Bobby Kicks back in the mix.
Goatee in the place to be.
Ernie, Serv One, Rojas, Top Rocket Tattoo.
Yes, sir.
Until next time, guys. Have a great one. We'll see you again soon.
Peace.
Peace, guys.
Thank you for watching this episode of Kickstory. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any episodes. And stay connected with us on Instagram and these podcast platforms listed here. We also want to hear from you. So make sure to comment below and give us your thoughts. Thanks again for your support, and we'll see you next time.